And now we bring in a guy who went to plenty of All-Star games in his career, and he joins us every Friday at this time, Walt Clyde Frazier. Clyde, how you doing?
Hey, guys. Doing good. What's up?
Did you like to go to the All-Star game, or would you have rather had those days off?
No, that's something that was one of my goals to start this season, was to try to make the All-Star team. So, I wanted to be there.
So how devastating was that loss to Sacramento, leaving that taste in your mouth now for the next week?
Yeah, I know, man. I couldn't believe that. They let a guy who hadn't been playing come in. Jimmer hadn't played in the last 3 or 4 games and come in and get a season high. That's always devastating. But, that's what has happened all season. Those type of collapses by the Knicks and Melo running out of gas down the stretch after carrying the team early on in the first 3 quarters.
Now, you can answer this. We spoke about this earlier, and everybody's talking about the extra minutes that Melo is playing. And we're not professional athletes. You can see that by looking at us, Clyde. But he is averaging this year 38.8 minutes per game. His career is 36.4. Those 2 minutes make that much of a difference that he should be exhausted at the end of games.
Well, remember, he's rebounding a little more. I think his rebound average is up more. He's trying to play more defense. So you put all that together, it's taking a lot out of him. He doesn't know how to pace himself. He's hell-bent to play the game. When he's on the defense, I'm sure if you look at my career stats, I probably averaged over 40 minutes a game, and I had to guard the more prolific guy on the team. But I knew how to rest on the defense. And Melo doesn't do that. He works hard on the defense. And it's something I'd like for him not to do. Once he get a rebound, don't dribble the ball up the court, man. Make the guards bring the ball up the court. So those are 5 or 6 seconds that he could be relaxing. So what he does, if you watch him, he gets a rebound, he dribbles the ball up the court. So he does that. He averages 8 rebounds. He does that 8 times a game. That's stressful. So all of these things have added up, I think, to take away his efficiency, especially down the stretch.
Now, I know he's their best option to score, and he's one of the best scorers in the league, but it's just not working late in games for him. Is it time for Woodson to draw up plays to get other guys involved?
Yeah, not only that, give the man more rest. You got to find a way. Like we said, this is not working. So you got to sit him on the bench. Sit him on the bench those other 2.5 minutes that Mike alluded to. So get him back down to what he's accustomed to playing. Talk to him about pacing himself, like I'm saying. Melo, don't bring up the rebound. Make the guards bring the ball up. There's a little more time that you could rest on the offense.
I looked it up, Walt. From 1970 until 1976, you averaged over 40 minutes a game. And in 70-71, you averaged 43.2 minutes per game, so Red never took you out of the game.
You know what Red would tell me, Clyde, when you're tired, let me know. So,
you never let him know.
I look over at him, he ignores me, he looks at the floor.
Now, what's the deal with Raymond Felton, Clyde? We try to look at reasons why they're 20 and 32, and it looks like he's having a really bad year. Well, you're a great point guard. Is he having a bad year?
Yeah, he got off to a bad start in preseason. He didn't play that often because of hamstring injuries, and that has persisted throughout the season. So he's been in and out of the lineup, and has taken away a lot of his confidence, and I'm sure he's been much maligned in the press, so I'm sure he's not reading the paper anymore. They really did blaming him for the inefficiency of the offense, so that's taking a toll on him. I think he's out there trying to do too much now, trying to prove to the people that he can get the team going, and it's just exacerbating the problem for him.
Now, I guess you maybe heard Carmelo's comments earlier today during Media Day when asked if he's going to become a free agent. He says, yeah, I'm going to become a free agent because I want to recruit guys to come back here, indicating that maybe he'd take less money to be able to bring guys in here. But then also talking about how he wants to win a championship and will go someplace that gives him the best. So you're around him a lot. Do you have any indication what this guy's going to do at the end of the season?
I'm going to go with what his wife said. His wife said he's staying, so I think she might know. So hopefully he does, man. I don't know. Where would he go? To L.A.? What other team could give him what the Knicks can give him?
I think Chicago's being rumored.
Yeah, but would Chicago want Melo to come in, a guy that they're saying that doesn't move the ball? They're so team-oriented Would they want him to try to fit into that style of play where they're defense first, team balls? So would Melo want to go to a team like the Bulls?
Now, I want you to tell me, Walt, because we're honest with each other, if I'm crazy. The Knicks are 2.5 games out of a playoff spot. They're 20-32, and I still think they're going to make the playoffs. Am I nuts?
No, I agree with you. I think, I know these guys. I've been around these guys. I told you they have a lot of pride. Things just haven't gotten off the way we thought it would, but they still have an opportunity. There's eternity left now in the rest of the games that remain, but they've got to do it the hard way. The majority of their games are going to be on the road against bona fide teams. But if you're a player like me, this is what you want. You want to beat the best to show that you are the best in order to get into the playoffs. So as a player, I don't want to back into the playoffs. I want to go in with momentum, and I think this is where the Knicks want to be.
And if it just doesn't happen for them as the season goes on, if they continue to lose, could you see a coaching change in the middle of the season, or do you think they're going to ride Woodson out the rest of the way no matter what?
From what I'm hearing, this looks like they're going to ride him out. Like, who do you bring in? Maybe they don't think the assistant coaches are going to be better if they fire Woodson to bring in one of the assistant coaches to take over at this point. But I think, like Mike alluded to, they're only 2.5 games out with all the adversity they faced. So can Woodson galvanize these guys to get them into the playoffs? I think he can.
Carmelo was asked if he had to pick sides for a 3-on-3 tournament. Anybody in basketball history, who would he take? And you could see what type of player is. He said he would take offensive guys. It would be him, Kevin Durant, and Bernard King. What three would you take?
I take Bill Russell, Wilt Chamberlain, and Kareem.
And nobody score on them.
Yeah, I have a mixture of offense and defense. So, this guy Durant, man, this guy, he's having a fantastic season. I try to think about who could guard this guy. I know I'm supposed to be one of the better defensive players in the history of the NBA. I'd be too short. I'm only 6'4". This guy's 6'10". I don't know who could really guard this guy. The tall guys are too slow. Short guys are too short. He can take them in and post them. He doesn't miss his free throws. He has an interior game. Plus, he plays defense. He rebounds. He makes assists. So I think the guy's only getting better.